your girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time. Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.
Fasten your seatbelts.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And a real quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble or BitChute or Odyssey, please hit that follow and subscribe button. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google, any of the podcast platforms out there, please hit that follow and subscribe button so we can continue to bring you conversations like the one I'm about to give you with my good friend, my shipmate, the man of Vultan, Mr. Domonic Rini. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, I thought you were going to do sign language. I'm like, it don't work that well out here. Come on, speak. I'm doing good. Man. I'm glad we were finally able to make this happen. We've been talking about it for a while, and, you know, got a long history together. We've hit the road for many festivals and shows together. I've heard so many fun stories. We've made so many fun memories at our time in ACU2. So I'm like, well, let's get Domonic on here to share some of his stories. But usually when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to go way back. So do you remember originally what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, let's see. Whew. Well, I remember let's go back to 79. When I was a kid, I remember I just wanted to get out of my house. You know, I had very little supervision as a kid. My mother used to drop me and my brother off at Goodrich Gannett over at East 55th in St. Clair, and she dropped me and him off over there. It's like a little recreation center. It's still there, and she got involved playing guitar. So it was an acoustic guitar. My brother didn't want nothing to do with it. So what he would do is, on our way walking there, he would hide cigarettes in his guitar. So you figured I was 79. He was 9 years old. I was 11, 12 years old. So on our way walking there, we would smoke cigarettes. So that was our way out of the house. We would smoke cigarettes and go there, and I would learn to play guitar. So I figured I wanted to be a rock star. This is at 12 years old. So at 12 years old, I wanted to be a rock star. That's what I want to do. You know, getting influenced by Kiss and Jimmy Page and Hendrix and things like that. That's what I wanted growing up, just listening to music. Music was my life as a kid, and it's always been that way.
Nice. And then
it did. And I'm still a little fidget.
Damn, we got delayed.
Able to get on the rides at amusement park.
But then so like you said, like Hendrix and
So that's
stuff
where
like
I
that,
got.
were your early influences?
So after So after that, you want this to be about music? I could talk about guitars and stuff like that. Being a kid, if you want, I could take you down that road. That was easy.
No, I
You
mean,
wanna
I
do
just,
that?
we'll get into some of the music and stuff, but then I wanted to
Oh,
get in like
we got a nice little delay going on here.
yeah, quite a bit a delay. Yeah, I didn't think you got all that porn scrubbed off your computer before.
So
on here.
yeah, bring up. Yeah.
But you like, do you know when it was where you felt the calling to serve your country?
Yeah. What happened was this is where it all went wrong, I guess you could say. But there was some things going on in my life. I had a run-in with the law, and I was given. I was like, I can either find myself going down the wrong path in life. I could be in jail, and I was just doing bad shit at the time. And I saw where my friends were going, what they were doing, and I figured I want to end up being like, just doing stupid shit, getting high and just drinking and just I was gonna do nothing. I had no discipline. I had no focus in life. I had to do something, and I wanted to move the hell out of my house, get away from my family, my mother, and like the 10 dogs I had in the house, and I just wanted to get one. That's all I wanted to do. So I just went to the recruiting station and said, I need to get the hell out of Cleveland. And they're like, I think we could help you out. And so they looked up my records and said, we can help you. And I said, well, I like to be an interior communication electrician. I want to work on phones. I want to be an electrician. I want to be a repairman. I said, I don't want to get dirty. I want something easy. I want to get the hell away as far as I can away from Cleveland. Take me to California. That's where I want to go, as far as away from Cleveland. And of course, there you go. Now, I was in 11th grade at the time. I was failing. I was a real fuck up in high school. So I lost my ass. I graduated out from 11th grade. I was doing school. I was doubling up courses and everything. And I really, really overdid myself to graduate. And once I graduated, boom, I was out there in California. Wow, boot camp would kick my ass. I was a little fat kid in boot camp, whining sissy boy out there. And here's a funny story, man. Boot camp kicked my ass bad, and I remember when I was out there, I went to the company commander. I was like, I can't do this, man. I need to go home. I wrote a letter to the company commander saying, I can't do this. I need to go home. I got more important to do. This isn't for me. I can't do it. I was whining in this letter, crying and shit. And he called me up. He said, man, just stick this out. He goes, there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you did this. Just stick it out a few more weeks and we'll see what happens. So I said, okay, like the last week or whatever, giving out awards and stuff. And by that time, I was doing really good. I was like, I think they called it the RCPO or whatever that was. So I had all these little ribbons or whatever the hell you call it. And I forgot all about this letter and shit that I wrote, weeks ago. So you get out these award stuff, and they started giving these awards out to everybody. So the company commander started pulling this letter out. He read this out to everybody. And when he read this letter, I forgot all about it. I wrote this letter. And I was like, oh, what a pussy. Who would write something like that? What a sissy ass. And he called me up to the of everybody. I'm like, damn, I don't remember writing anything. So he was like, Rini, since you wrote that, everybody get up at push-up position. I'm like, fuck. So, except you, Rini. And everybody, and this is San Diego. This is in August. And it was like 100-something degrees. You're wearing your dungarees, and you get your things all buttoned at the top, and everybody's at push-up position. You get rifles down there, and everyone's like, fucking Rini, you fucking asshole. And they're down there, and I'm standing there, and he said, company commander says, Rini, are you hot? I'm like, yes, I am. He goes, let me go get you a Coke. So he got me a Coke. He said, crack it open. So I went, cracked it open. He goes, put it on your head. So I put it on my forehead. And all these people just looking at me, giving me dirty looks. He goes, you want to smoke a cigarette? I'm like, yes, I do, sir. He said, go. That's when you're able to smoke. So I was smoking a cigarette, and we're drinking a Coke, and these people were just looking at the look of death. Oh, my God. But that's a pretty messed up day, but that was just one of those days when you feel like you're giving up and you overcome, hell. And I was able to live past that. That was one of those days or one of those events when you think that you can't do something and you just through it.
Yeah, you got through it. I don't know how your team got through it, but
Oh, it happened numerous times. I put that company through hell, and they were going to kick my ass. They were going to give me this is a funny story. So the first day, I almost got that numerous times. I used to slam the rifle down on the ground all the time, and I used to put our company push-up position all the time. They knew it was me, so I loved doing push-ups by that time. Because the first day in boot camp, I wanted to get into shape and stuff like that. So the first day when we got together as a company commander came to us and goes, who here wants to be an Iron God? And I raised my hand. I said, I do. I want to be an Iron God. He goes, okay, cool. He goes, what I will do for you? He goes, Rini. He goes, I'll send you a marching party every single day. He goes, and I'll send you to Posmo. Also, every single day, even the day you graduate, I'll send you there. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm down. And I had no clue what the hell that was. I knew what a marching party was. I didn't know what Posmo was. Posmo stood for Positive Motivation. And I had no clue what the hell that was. I didn't know what a marching party was. So that night, everybody was going to bed. We're hitting the racks. I'm getting ready to hit the racks, and here comes company commander. Really, get your ass out here right now. So I'm like, what the hell? He goes, get all your clothes, get everything, and put your clothes on. I'm like, what? So he says, I put my regular clothes and my dungarees on, all that. He goes, no, put all your dungarees on, and all your clothes, and your dress clothes on. So I'm putting all my clothes on, and he goes, go out to the grinder behind us. And behind us is where the Navy SEALs train was, right behind us. And I looked out the window and I said, oh, my God. There goes all these people doing all these sit-ups and push-ups, and these guys are out there crying out there. These are all the fat people out there who are failing. So I'm walking out there, and I see all these people doing sit-ups and crying out there. I'm like, and here I am, my sea bag on my back, and I got all my clothes that I'm wearing. And I walk out there, and they're like, get your ass out here right now. So I walk out there, and they push me down out there. And I'm out there push-up position with my sea bag on my back, and I'm trying to do these push-ups. I'm falling down. I make it through the night, and that night it's over with. I look back there and I look out the window, and all these people are watching me out there. The first night, it's like 2 a.m. I get back to my rack. Next day comes by. Really, get your ass out there. I'm back out there. They're like, you don't need your clothes tonight. Just get out there. So I get out there and it's the same thing. I'm out there, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks. I'm out there with all the Navy SEALs. I just do all these exercises. This one every single night. Day I graduated, I'm out there with them in my whites doing exercises out there. It was messed up, but it was. And I was out there smiling the whole time doing it though. And it was a pretty fun experience. But I got in shape though. I wish I would have
Nice.
stuck it out though.
Yeah. And then so you make it through boot camp, and then you go off, and I mean, you've shared some of the stories with me, but what are some of the oddest things you experienced during your time in the Navy?
We did this one thing. It was this is a funny story. We did this one thing. It was called Operation Hand Clasp. Operation Hand Clasp was we went to Medan, Indonesia, and what it is was in Indonesia in Sumatra in Medan, and we was just our ship, and we pulled into port there. It was messed up because you went through the jungle, and you know when you flew there, you had your M16s out the window because you had the snipers out there who were going to shoot at you. So our main goal was to get to this little village, and we were going to help paint like a little church for this little village. And it wasn't just a little village; it was a leper colony. So which is pretty wild if you've never seen a leper before. So we're going there. We go there. We help. Now the options were this: you can either one stay on your ship, or two go to the leper colony and paint. And we've just been out at sea for weeks. So I picked the leper colony because I figured this is going to be cool. I want to see some fucking lepers. Because you hear leopards your whole life. You want to see some lepers.
Yeah.
So and I figured I got some leper jokes. I want to tell some lepers some jokes. Now I don't know if it's English, but as far as I know, they haven't seen Americans since Vietnam. So I got some leper jokes. So we get there, and I'm like, oh, I gotta tell some jokes somehow. Because when I was in high school, I used to tell really, really bad jokes. So I figured, okay, I got this leopard joke I gotta tell. So I gathered up a bunch of group of people, and they had, this is messed up. You'll appreciate this. So gathered up a whole group of fucking lepers. Forgive me again. So we had all these kids that are sitting in front of me, and in the back you had the elders sitting back there. They understood English, not real good, but they understood English. Telling these jokes, they had no idea what I was saying. And you see these people that are like scratching their ears, and parts of their ears would fall off because, you know, it's just what leprosy does. It makes parts of your skin off because it's leprosy does. And I told this joke, and you see the elders in the back, just standing back there with their arms crossed. And I was like, why then when lepers give oral sex? Oh, I'm gonna fuck this joke up. Damn. How come when lepers give oral sex? Fuck, I'm fucking this up. I haven't told this joke in fucking 30 years. How come lepers can't give oral sex? Because when they give head, they can't give it back. That's it.
Oh, God.
You get that?
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, after I said that, they ushered me away.
They said, get back to the ship.
Oh. Now, after that, the next day was my birthday. It was my birthday. So this is in 1987. So I was turned 19, I think it was. Yeah, so I just turned 19 or whatever it was. So I was like, we need to get drunk. You know, it's my birthday. So, well, the city of Medan was like a little metropolitan area. And so we wanted to go out drinking. So out there, alcohol is against the religion. So to find a place to drink, the only place you could find something to drink was a discotheque. So our goal was to find alcohol. And when you're out at sea for weeks at a time, you need to find some alcohol, and you're going to find all of it. So me and a bunch of guys, we went and found a discotheque, and we found all the alcohol, and we drank it all. So me and a couple guys, two other guys, we were walking the streets, and we were fucking wasted. Whew, staggering down the streets. And we saw this like parade going on. And like I'm telling you, we were trashed. And these people they were carrying this it had been probably like 25 feet high, and it had like made out of like sticks and palms, and had a bunch of designs all over it. And there's like 50, 60 people in this like parade thing going down like this, going to like a downtown kind of thing. And we're like, let's get in this parade. This is really cool. And like, hey, let's jump in this. So we grabbed on this thing, and we're helping carrying this big ass thing. So we're carrying it with them. We're like, oh, this is so cool. And so we walked all the way to, it was just like going to like a public square kind of thing. So we're walking with it, and it's like a real central area of like a little city where it's like a public square where everything came together. So, and we're trashed. So with us, we sat this thing down with all these other people, like 50 people, all carrying this huge thing. Lit this up. They're dancing or singing around this thing. And all of a sudden, you start seeing stuff start falling out of it. And I'm like, oh, wow. All of a sudden, I saw an arm come out of it, like a leg, and a fucking head. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was a community cremation we were in part of in the city. There's something where people were just going on. This was a natural thing for the city, but I've never seen anything like it. And so, being fucking trashed and being part of a community cremation. So after all this happened, years and years that went by, I was in college at Cleveland State, and I was in an anthropology course, and I was watching this course in this classroom, and they were showing us something like this going on, and they're actually showing them carrying this thing going on. I asked teachers, I said, can you pause this, please? I said, what's going on with this? And the professor's like, what's going on there? And they want to witness that went up. That's pretty wild shit. How you like that? Was that a good story?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it was good. Now, since you're going on some good stories here, you wanted to tell something about the monkey. You want to share the monkey story?
Oh, okay. This is dealing with the Philippines. That's one of my favorite places I've ever been. People who's been to the Philippines, once I mention this street, you'll agree with me. Whatever I say, you'll agree wholeheartedly. My heart. You'll believe whatever I say because it's just the way it is. In Olongapo, in the Philippines, it's the greatest place in the world ever. If you ever been in the Philippines, you ever been to Olongapo or Subic Bay, it's the greatest place for a man to ever visit. Oh my God, it's a taste of heaven. It is. It's the greatest place. It's virtually the best ever to go. So I was right outside the Navy base. There's a little river there, and there's a bridge that you go over when you leave the base. And out there, it's a river. The river is called Shit River. I don't think it's really called that, but it's Shit River because all the people's drainage from all their houses go into this river, and it smells like shit river. It smells like true shit. And these have these people and these boats. They'd be out these little bonka boats. They'd be sitting there And when you cross in the boat, these people be sitting there. You take your coins and you throw it in the water, and they would dive in there. And they'd come up, and they'd like, "Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe." And I don't know how you could see in that water because it's just dark as shit. And they'd pull the coins up. They would do that all the time. Well, being on the ship, you'd have all these weird, like these slug coins. You know, they weren't real. So I'd go out there and I'd take these slugs and I'd throw it way out there. And they would dive down there and say, "Oh, motherfucking Joe, I kill you, Joe. I kill you, Joe." But I would laugh and you can't catch you because they're on their little bonka boats. So, well, Bill, you know I would do shit like that. So you know, you'd walk over the bridge, and once you come off the bridge, there'd be people trying to sell you anything you could think of, anything. And on Magsaysay Street, this used to be in the Book of World Records for having the most clubs on the street. It was literally a mile long. They'd have bar, then be a little store, bar, store, bar, nightclub, bar, fucking store. But in between each of them, there was somebody trying to sell you something on the street. Anything you can think of, you can get on the street. There'd be little kids trying to shine their tennis shoes and shit with toothbrushes and shit all the time. So, okay, now you got an idea what's going on. So, I had his girlfriend there. So, me and her was walking in and out of the club. We would try to do these we would try to go in and out of the clubs and take pictures of Mojo. So we would go from one club. Usually you can only make it as far as you can go is like maybe probably five clubs, and you'd be tore up. Or if you drink Girl Scout cookies, that's what pictures would taste like. There would probably be a picture like that. If you were in the Philippines, you would know what I'm talking about. The Mojo was so good because it'd be like fruit punch and just rum and kind of other stuff is mixed in it, San Miguel and stuff like that. So knowing that when you get like 5 pictures, you're fucking ripped. So me and this girl was walking in and out of these clubs. And like I said, remember, these people are selling weird shit on the street. So me and this girl, this guy had a monkey on his shoulder. And she was with me. She goes, oh, buy me monkey. I'm like, oh, you want a monkey? I'll buy you a monkey. And I was like, hey, man, how much for the monkey? And he was like, I don't know, like $2 or something. I'm like, I'll buy you the monkey. So got my pesos out. Got her the monkey. So I had the little monkeys running all over me, all over my head. I'm playing with this little fucking monkey. And I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. I'm going in and out of the bars with this fucking monkey climbing all over me, playing with it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to name you whatever, motherfucking monkey, having fun with the monkey. And he's jumping off me. I'm going on to her and stuff. And so walk a bit, go to another bar, get a couple more drinks. And somebody's selling some more shit over here. I'm like, oh, they got balloons over here. Oh, she's like, oh, buy me a balloon. I'm like, oh, you want a balloon? I said, oh, okay. Then I got a great idea. I said, how many balloons you got? He was like, I don't know how many it was, probably like 20 of them. I said, I'll buy them all, because I just got paid. So I'm like, what's that? Like $7 or whatever. I had all the fucking balloons. I was like, I got a great fucking idea. Let's tie them all to the fucking monkey. I tied them all to the monkey. I'm like, this could be like a fucking float like on Macy's Day. So I tied them all to the monkey. And I was like, let's see if you'll float. So I tied them all to the monkey. And I let the monkey go. The fucking monkey just floated away. Going down Main Street. The fucking monkey's going like, down the Main Street. This is just like on Macy's Day, but this fucking monkey just freaking out with these balloons, just taking him away down the Main Street. Everyone stopped and was looking at this fucking monkey going down the Main Street. Remember, this is a mile-long street, but this monkey just kept going and going and going and going and going. Once he got towards the street, then he just went up. And then he went up to the sky and gone. And he just was gone. Now, my idea of what happened to this monkey was there's like 1,000 islands to the Philippines. The other islands are like headhunter islands, where actually they're like headhunters. People, and there's some other that are just uninhabited by regular people. I pray to God that monkey landed on some of those islands where they don't have a lot of food, and the monkey came down, and they were like, "This is like from the gods," and I actually sent them food.
I have it on good authority that
What do you
Biden just
think of
shut
that
down
one?
your monkey.
Like my monkey story? Did you picture that monkey?
Man. That poor monkey.
I missed that damn monkey.
Monkey's traumatized now.
You want another good story?
Yeah. Give us another funny, good story.
This is sort of a bad story, but it's a good one though. So I was with this other lady. So this is one of the cool things you do when you go to a country when you've been there before. You saw a lady who is not a whore, who is like a nurse or something like that, who has a house, and you say, "How much would you charge me if you take care of me, like for a month? You wash my clothes, make my food, dinner and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go out to sea when I come back, and continue." So I said, and she gave me a number, and I'm like, "Oh, how about if I give you $100? She goes, "Okay, I'll make you, 3 meals a day or whatever, whatever it was." And she'll wash my clothes and things like that. My friends can come over and she'll cook us dinner and stuff like that. So, me and her, we were going in and out of, bar hopping, whatever. People selling weird shit on the street, like I told you. And so, this is funny. This guy had this little puppy, little brown and white dog, little baby dog, little puppy. And she said, "Oh, buy me puppy." I'm like, "Oh, you want the puppy? You want the puppy? I'll buy you a puppy." So I got her the puppy. She goes, "Oh." I'm like, "We got to feed the puppy now." Now, they had this little restaurant right across the street. It was called Wimpy's. So I went over there and I got a little hamburger from Wimpy's. Wimpy's, their hamburgers, they were real shitty tasting. They make their hamburgers and they put a lot of eggs in it. So it was like fucking horrible meat. It's like half meat and half eggs. It was like, ugh. But this puppy loved it. So I'm like, "That's going to be your name. I'm going to name you Wimpy." So I would go there every day to her house, and I'd bring Wimpy a Wimpy burger, and I would eat it. Now we were there for almost like 3 weeks at the first time there, and so my friends would come over and they'd bring Wimpy burgers. So we were fattening up this little puppy, and so we're getting ready to leave, and Faley, that was her name. She said, "What would you like to eat when you come back?" And I was just joking with her. I said, "I want to eat my dog when I come back." She was okay. So we went to Australia after that. We went down there. So went down there, did all our shit, did all this stuff with Australian Navy and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. Back, all my bunch of guys. We went back to Faye's house, and she made this big pot of stew and rice, and had a big setup on the table, all these beers and all that stuff. And we're all eating, just having a blast. And after we're done eating, I'm like, "Faley, where's Wimpy at?" She goes, "Oh, you ate dog." "You ate dog." I said, "No, I didn't. Where's my dog at? Where's Wimpy at?" She goes, "Oh, you ate dog." I said, "No, I didn't. Where's my dog?" She said, "Come with me." We walked outside and she showed me his carcass. I almost threw up. So my friends were saying, "Where's the dog at?" Like, you ate dog too.
Jesus.
They all got sick. Oh, so I'm wondering what my dog tasted like. He was a little tough, but he wasn't that tough. He was like a little, you know, he was almost too old. You know, he was like at just about the right age. You know, a little bit older would have been a little too tough. I went home on leave. My dogs jumped on me. I said, "Get away from me. I know what you taste like."
Wow.
That
Hey,
was that little story.
I'm sure friggin' PETA's gonna cancel this episode. But what is so you know you
You
had a
see
lot
stories like that?
of good experiences in the Navy, but let's talk a little bit about your Cobra tattoo. Didn't that happen when you were on active duty too? Oh, this delay.
Philippines also. So when I was in, my favorite movie of all time was Escape from New York. Kurt Russell. He was such a puss because he really didn't get that tattoo. So I always wanted to get that tattoo. Here. So I was in the Philippines and I was like, "Maria, let's go get a tattoo." And she was like, "Okay, let's go get a tattoo." So we went to the tattoo parlor and I'm like, "Philly," I'm not Philly, Maria, that's a different one. So this guy's giving me a tattoo and he was using bamboo, it says, oh, and it was hurt so bad. It was supposed to go wrap around my leg, and I'm like, "Oh man, you gotta stop, man. That shit hurts so bad." And I'm like, "Maria, this hurts so bad." I'm like, "I need some attention off." Oh my God, it hurts so bad. And I was like, "I need something to take my mind off this." She gave me a penthouse. I'm like, "That ain't helping." I'm like, "Dude, you gotta stop." He's like, "Oh no, I don't stop." I said, "Dude, stop." He's like, "No, I don't stop." I said, "Stop." He goes, "Oh no, I don't stop." I got up, I beat his ass. I beat him down. He did all the outline. He got to the bottom part. That's my beat. I literally got up, I whipped his ass. And Maria had to pull me off the guy. So needless to say, I never got it finished because I beat his ass. I went back a couple of days later and I got it colored in by somebody else. But this is the funny part of the story. After I got the outline done, I went to this bar. Oh, this is so messed up. Now remember that on the street there's all kind of weirdos on. You have people who have like no legs and shit like that because they're trying to get money. So you have people who should be like sideshows. This is fucked up. People like no arms or no legs and shit like that. I'm serious. There's like conjoined twins that are like on the street panhandling, trying to get money from you. Keep that in mind. So I'm in this bar, in this club called Hole in the Wall. So I'm laying there on these chairs with these girls. They're just laying there. It's late at night. I'm trying to go to sleep, so I got to get back to. And I just had this tattoo done, and I had this bandage on me. And so I'm just laying there, my eyes closed. And I felt like a lump on my lip. And I'm laying there like, "Oh, what the hell? Like, Maria, what happened to my lip?" She goes, "Oh, mosquito bite you. Mosquito bite you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I closed my eyes, went back to sleep. And these are just like regular chairs. They're all just pulled together. So I'm there with all these working ladies. We're just sleep on chairs. So probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I felt my lip. I'm like, what the hell? You know, this lump felt a little bigger. I'm like, what the hell? So I went in the bathroom, looked at they had like a sheet metal thing on the wall for a mirror. So I looked at this picture of myself, like, what the fuck? This lump was like probably the size of a dime. And I looked at Marie because she's standing right there, like, what's this on my lip? She was, oh, mosquito bite you, mosquito bite you. So I went back and lay down on a chair, and I went back to sleep. So around 5 o'clock, I opened my eyes. I'm like, what the? My lip was blown out. I mean, it was all the way down to like my chin. It was huge, and my eye was puffed out too. So I had my eye was all puffed up. I looked at Elephant Man. I'm like, this isn't right. I said, Maria, what's wrong? She goes, oh, mosquito bites your eye and your lip. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get back to my ship. So now I walk out of the building, and I'm walking down the street. These people are stopping and looking at me, and I saw this guy on the street, this guy who had no legs, and he's walking on the street like this, you know, because he didn't have legs, so he's walking on his hands. He stopped looking at me. He started laughing at me. What the fuck? This guy with no legs laughing at me on the street. So I had these damn circus performers laughing at me. I'm like, what the hell? This is wrestling.
It's karma from the lepers.
You ain't lying. So I get back to the ship. They almost would not let me back on the quarter deck because they couldn't tell who I was. I get back, I go to the corpsman. I said, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? They were like, did you get any new tattoos or something? I'm like, yeah. They were like, you had a reaction from the ink. So they gave me some Benadryl, and it shut down in like a day. But that was that.
Hey, so let's talk about some of your favorite memories from ACU2 and when you came into ACU2, the unit that we were in together.
Oh, here's one. So I remember I was going to my one reenlistment. I put my request sheet. Now I had my reenlistment during the 7th inning of the Cleveland Indians game on the last day at Municipal Stadium. Now I was going to have Martin Hoke was going to reenlist me during the last game. It got approved all the way up to the congressman. But the only problem was the Indians had a problem with it. They had too many things going on. And but it was going to happen. I was going to get re-enlisted during the 7th inning stretch at Municipal Stadium, and it was going to be pretty damn cool. But instead, I got re-enlisted there on everybody else.
Damn.
That would have been fun.
I actually had a re-enlistment at the St. Patrick's Day Parade in downtown Cleveland. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think,
that.
what other cool? Oh, I'm trying to think of what other fun thing. I remember we were doing working on the boats. It was during the winter time, and I forgot who it was, but they were standing on one of those bollards, and you know those seagulls, and they're always messing with you. And somebody was out there. They were doing the Karate Kid thing out there, up there like this. And one of the seagulls came by. He snatched it out of the sky. I'll never forget that. I forgot who did that. He had his leg up and everything, and it came by, and he goes, "Wow!" I did the crane and just snatched one out of the sky. Yeah, the seagulls were motherfuckers out there.
Something Daly would have done.
I remember. It might have been him. I remember we were doing some ops out there in Lakewood, and we were gonna hit the beach, and everybody was out there laying out in the sand, and we were going to scare the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, those are some good times, man.
I remember we were. Were you there when down in Virginia? We were out there in like the middle of the night, just doing circles, and we couldn't the beach because there was turtles in the water. We couldn't. Just there was turtles out there. We had to wait for a whole family of turtles, all of them, just to hit the beach.
Yeah, well, those are our mascots. ACU2 mascots. Gotta respect the turtles.
There's a whole family of turtles. Oh man.
There are a lot of good times.
And was that at Camp Lejeune? Since we were at Camp Lejeune, are we part of that whole that lawsuit thing?
Oh, with the water? I don't know. You can get in on that. I know you're always trying to work an angle. We're gonna have East Palestine water here soon, you know. But
oh man, yeah, I remember down at Camp Lejeune. Oh, were you down there in Camp Lejeune? We were down there.
I don't think I ever made it down there for any of those ops. It might have been before me.
Oh man, thank God, because it was like 100 degrees, and we were down there on the beach, and they had all those porta potties out there, and we were there like with the Marines, and this is messed up. And you'd go in there, and it would be so hot in those porta potties, and you'd see MREs, people were eating inside of them things. Oh, and you're like, it wasn't none of us. It was those Marines, they'd eat inside of them things. Oh.
And then,
what the hell?
So, I know you like wrapped up your time at ACU2, and then that's when you got out. And then, well,
I got forced out. That's why I got out.
Oh yeah. Talk about that then.
I got out in 90. Yeah, that was with those Clinton cutbacks and all that stuff. Forced out. They didn't have a billet open for me, and I was forced out. There was nowhere for me to go.
Damn.
Yeah, like you gotta go.
Figure RE would have, worked out.
I would have stayed in.
Yeah, hell yeah, you would have. So then let's head back to some of your involvement with music and
because
stuff.
I wasn't doing anything in there.
When did Maximum Threshold Radio come to be?
The evolution of that. So I was in bands. I've been in bands most of my life. So probably around 2005, I was doing this. Somehow I was doing some comedy stuff. I was doing parody shows on this radio show called Morning Show Central. And what they were is they would take on Rover's Morning Glory. So they would do reviews of the show for the day. And I'd sit in and I'd basically like make fun of their show. And I was like, oh, I love music and stuff like that. And I still had contacts with bands, local bands. I'm like, let's interview some bands, local bands, let's play their music and stuff like that. So I started doing stuff like that, and I'd bring my guitar in, and I would start doing parodies of songs. And so the parodies just led into me playing more songs on there. And I'm like, hey, let's just do some music news. So that's what I started doing. I started doing music news on their show. And I started doing like, 2 or 3 music news. And that just started being bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I started doing more interviews. So I started interviewing more bands and artists and stuff like that. And I started making more connections. more connections, and more reviews, and it became stacks of stuff. And so my connections just started growing, and it started getting really big. And now I'm doing it for a couple of years. And so once I started learning how this went, how the podcast went, and how the radio show went, how to make the website and stuff like that, I'm like, I can do this on my own. This isn't that hard. Now this is back in 2005 and 2000, beginning of 2006. So I got down and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on my time. I'm going to start it off, but I'm still going to do his show as well. So I'm doing both. I'm doing Morning Show Central, but I'm also going to do this new thing, Maximum Threshold. So I started doing just the interviews and playing music. So it kind of worked out. So I started doing this. So now I have all this music I'm doing, and I started off doing like an hour long. An hour long was pretty easy. So it stretched off an hour long to an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm like, shit, I can do 3 hours. So now I'm doing 3 hours, and 3 hours stretched out. Eventually was doing like 6 hours of this radio show that I'm doing, because I had all this material that I've had people calling in. We had live feeds going on, and I was also linked up with Eddie Trunk. So I had all these people coming in from Eddie Trunk's radio show who was in their chat room. So I had Eddie Trunk's chat room people. Once his show ended, they would all come over to Maximum Threshold, and I had all these new fans now. So this fed me going. So I kept the show building up. The show was really big back then, because I had this strong New York fan base, which was really cool. The Q104.3 fan base in New York, which was pretty wild. So, but then he had a couple people who were like, they were dicks out there, and they ended up shutting down his chat room and stuff like that. And I was, at that time, I was working with Eddie Trunk. I was doing his website, and I was doing his bunch of others, his Twitter. That's when Twitter was coming out. I was doing that with him as well. And so, like I said, I was making a lot of connections. I'm not bragging by none of stuff. This is just this kind of stuff that I like doing back then. And yeah, just one thing led to another, and I just kept doing this over and over and over. Then eventually, once I figured out the format, it moved on and it progressed from just radio show to turning it into like a TV kind of thing, or eventually we turn into like a YouTube kind of thing. But it was, when using its infancy, we started MTTV kind of thing. We put out a few episodes. It really didn't take off. We didn't put a lot of effort to it. We had really big production at the time when it first started off, and we just stopped it. And big ideas, but I just didn't have the time. And the guy who was going to do all this along with me, he moved. He went down to North Carolina, and it was just it was a whole production thing, and it just didn't work out. Then we were going to do a bunch of stuff, and it just didn't work out. But I kept the radio thing going, Mac Threshold. It was syndicated. I had it. At one point, it was internationally syndicated on 65 stations around the world. We were grossing over 1 million listeners, which was wild. It was also on satellite TV, direct TV. We had Maximum Threshold on. It was pretty wild. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was unprinted on magazines. We had magazine Maximum Threshold. It was pretty good at one point, but things don't last long. Things do fizzle out. You reach your point, some points, and it just drops. That's usually where things happen. But as long as you keep it going, and I've always thought that Maximum Threshold was always like my therapy kind of thing. It kept me going as something, as an entertainment thing for myself. maybe not an entertainment like, hey, this is fun. It was an outlet, to keep connections with people who I thought were friends. You make a lot of friends doing this when you look at it as this is something you like to do, like honestly in your heart. If you look at it as, I want to help this band out, I want to help these people out, get their word out. You're making friends by doing this stuff if you're doing it for the right reasons. And that's how I always looked at it, like helping local bands out, get the words out, their music. If you're doing it for the right reasons and not by saying, I'm going to help you by getting music out, but you're going to give me $60 doing this. If you're doing it for that reason, you're being a dick about it. And I've never done it that way. I've always tried to help bands do that. Even the national bands, I don't ask them money. And I've had so many people say, you could be making a lot of money. We could have been doing that from the get-go. We could have been, our website could have been, really huge if we would have done it that way. But I've never done it that way, but because I haven't looked at it like that. I always looked at it like I'm helping the bands, I'm helping artists, I'm helping entertainers, I'm helping actors, I'm helping sports figures, I'm helping these people, I'm helping that people, because I want to be part of it. I want to be part of the, the solution. You want to be part of the picture. That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, it's similar story, with Domain Cleveland when I got into that. And, I mean, I was doing it at the beginning. I was doing it for wrong reasons, but now it's turned into this podcast, Today's Boondoggle. It's more for like what you were saying, the friendships I'm making, the relationships, it's more for my mental health. It's like a good outlet and a hobby for me to do to get me out talking to people too. And it's just been, I've had my financial advisor be like, because he's been catching on. A lot of people have been listening, and he's just like, man, you should monetize this. And I'm like, if it becomes a job, it ain't fun. This is fun, man. I love just helping people and being, like you said, part of the solution. What I loved too was back before I even got to doing this, and I was just doing the domain thing. And you knew how bad things were with me and my anxiety, social anxiety and stuff like that. But, we both were able to get connected on like the big Danny Wimmer festivals and do media and stuff. And that's kind of where we really like had the most fun working together, whenever we'd go do the media tents and stuff like that. And that was the benefit of you having Maximum Threshold, me having Domain Cleveland, as the outlets to interview national bands. But I mean, there's so many fun stories with us just hanging out in the tent and, getting to talk to people and getting interviews and, occasionally getting catering and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. Love those times. It was great.
But I think I almost skipped something too that I wanted to talk about. There was a time that you like kind of dipped your toe into politics as well. You want to talk about Domonic Rini, the politician?
Oh yeah, that was during the '90s. So let's see, from '92 all the way to 2000. I felt like I could make a change in people's lives. I ran for Cleveland City Council, State Representative, Ohio House Representative, Cuyahoga County Clerk of Courts, and also for Ohio State Central Committee for the Republican Party. And I won that race. But through all those times when I ran for the people. I did think I could make a change. Most of the times I was, I knew I was going to lose, just because when you're in Cuyahoga County as a Republican, you're going to lose. But you're going there, standing there for the platform for, your party. when I first ran in '92, I ran against City Council President Michael Pliskin, who, who's been in there forever. He's still in there. And, I got slaughtered. I lost by a ton. I had 64 votes. And I wondered why did I lose? And I put so much time and effort into it. But I didn't give up, And eventually when I ran for state representative, I remember knocking door to door, asking people what the problems were, Oh, here's a good story. You'll appreciate this one. So one day I had to give a speech in Lyndhurst with the governor. I was going to be there with Voinovich and DeWine and let's see, who else was there?
This is the story I wanted you to tell.
So, yeah, man, so I had to be there at a certain time. So I went home. I was after work or school, whatever it was. So I was sleeping. I'm like, okay. I had a nice sleep going on. I woke up, I looked at my watch, said, oh shit, I gotta get up, I gotta go. So I got my sweater on, my green and white sweater, put it on, got dressed real quick, got in my car, and I drove to Lyndhurst, went down the stairs, went down there, and as soon as I got downstairs, and here's George Voinovich, and we'd like to introduce you, possibly our next County Clerk of Court, Domonic Rini. There I am. Thank you. I'm trying to remember how the speech went. I said, thank you very much. I would like to bring back the PI, back to Cuyahoga County government. PI, which stands for Pride, Integrity, and Efficiency, back to county government. And people were clapping and blah, blah, blah. I went on speaking, whatever. And then after I was done, I sat back down and and who was what's his name? So I sat down, the former county state treasurer. Who was that? He ran for Senate last year.
I don't remember.
So this is the former state treasurer. Look at yourself. Look, yeah. He said, you got your shirt inside out and backwards. He said, your tag's hanging out in the front. I said, why didn't you say something when I came down? He goes, I thought you were making a fashion statement. But you know what? I got almost 500,000 votes in that election.
Nice. They knew you were.
But I still lost. That's pretty good.
The people knew you were one of them, especially with the inside-out backward shirt. So
it was.
So yeah. So then that was.
That's right.
That was
It was like Freddy
that was
Krueger.
your run in politics, and then so that took the timeline back, and then you got into Maximum Threshold and Morning Show Central and all that stuff. After that, just think how many votes you could have got if you ran with the Maximum Threshold fan base,
Yeah.
So let's bring up the current events now. You're in a band now, Vultan.
Oh, I know. Oh man, I would have cleaned up.
Let's talk a little bit about Vultan.
Vultan's a best band. Vultan, we've been together for a good number of years now. We have, with our singer Paul Hospodor. We got a great lineup. I mean, we've all been together here. It's the same lineup since we named the band. We had our EP that came out, 2021, the 3-song EP. We kept those 3 songs on the latest release, and 11 greatest hits songs on the new one. We have to say it's the greatest hits because they're all greatest hits, man. They're packed for your pleasure. Songs are really good. There isn't any wimpy songs on the release. We played some really good shows with this band. It's a shreddable record. It's a good band, man.
Coming up
You've seen us, so you know what we can do.
Yeah, so we got a big show coming up
tomorrow. We're playing at the Sly Fox in tropical North Olmsted.
Yeah. Talk about that show,
it's going to be pretty good, man. Playing there with Shock Frenzy, the Velvomatics, and Dark Secret. Yeah, it starts at 7 o'clock. I think it costs $5 to get in there. If that, so get in there early. I don't think you have to pay. Just get there. And drinks are cheap. So are the women. Get there early. Stay late. And there's some really good restaurants over there, too.
Now we're celebrating Paul's birthday and stuff, too, right? Your singer?
I think. Yeah. Yep. Halfway to 92. Yep. There should be cake and stuff like that there. So it's going to be great.
Will there be catering?
It's halfway to 92. There might be. Looking forward to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what other goals you guys got for yourself and Vultan going forward?
Well, we're working on a bunch of new songs. We'll hopefully get in the studio this year. Work on a new record release. We have probably 5 new songs we got right now, or maybe 4. We're going to play probably 3 of them tomorrow night. Pretty cool new songs. Pretty groovy tunes, man.
Nice.
Still trying to get in a couple festivals, man. It's so hard to get onto them. Especially, with Danny Wilmer. He's so hard to. It's so hard, man. Have you seen how hard it is to get on one of these festivals? I think you gotta. It's more than no. There's a.
You gotta be. Yeah,
it's
you
a
gotta
process,
be somebody.
man. Oh my God. They got.
You should talk to
man,
Chris.
Here, let me tell you how. I did already, and
try and get on Summit Fest.
You got to do more than that. I try, man. It's so hard, man. I want to at least get on one just so people could see what we could do, and give us a big stage. Let me wear my ass off on stage. Let me fall down on stage. Give me oxygen. I'll need it, man, because we just don't stand around. We give it all we got on there. I do as an old ass man. I'll do what I gotta do, because the way I see it is, when you're on a stage and you're playing, you're supposed to be somebody who you're not supposed to be on a stage. You're supposed to be entertaining. When you're up there, when you're playing and you're out in the crowd, you're supposed to be somebody, bigger than life out there. And that's what I perceive. Like when I was a kid, when I used to go concerts and I used to see Kiss, those were fucking gods. That's what my perception is when I'm playing up on stage. I got to be somebody I'm not. And that's the opportunity. When I'm given the opportunity of playing, that's what I want to do. So if I were given the opportunity to be on a big stage, that's what I'm going to do. And I pray I can get an opportunity to play up there. If I had them, I would. I'll fucking fall on them, but I'll still do it. I'll slide off stage if I could. I'll do what I got to do, man.
So what do you got? What other plans you got going forward with Maximum Threshold?
Just fixing my damn weight.
Fixing your bandwidth?
Fucker's been having damn times.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Acted up tonight.
No, well, this is just my regular computer.
You
my
gotta bring
my
it back,
computer, man, my websites all. Oh, I got them all back. Well, most of them. I got the Vultan page back. I got Maximum Threshold page back, and I had to totally delete them all and just reformat them and bring them all back. Like Maximum Threshold, that's what I've been doing all day today. I just had to put all new material back up on there today, and it's a pain in the ass, man. But I'm getting pretty damn good at it again. Just remembering
Yeah, we need you,
how
man. We
to
need
do
you to
it
get
again. So
approved for media so we can hang out in the media tent again this summer.
I know. Yep.
Got to talk to our
Doing
friends.
websites, working them back up.
Speaking of those Danny Wimmerfest, we got to talk to them about get you in the media tent.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
message
speaking
him
of
on
your
Monday.
angles again, the media
I already
tent. We didn't touch on Fireland's PR. You want to talk about that a little bit? Still doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that. I want to start building that thing back up. I'm trying to look that up as if it's like another as a publicist. So as you can see, being building up all these contacts with bands and publicists, you kind of like know the ropes as doing this stuff. Like also Bill would do the same thing as well. The only difference is you kind of like learn how to promote a band, but you learn the fine details as being a publicist. You learn the cooler stuff as being a publicist, as doing more of the promotion, setting up gigs and stuff like that, and all the bullshit though. The bullshit that comes with the bands,
Yeah.
the stuff that me and Bill go out doing, like, hey man, can you hook us up with tickets to a show? And that's the stuff I want to deal with. I want to deal with bands that get all that bullshit from people emailing them. Can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? I want to do that kind of stuff now, as well as the other stuff. I want to do that as well. So, but I want to do that not just with music. I want to do that for like artists, and like actors and sports people and just other things. And I kind of did a few things like that in the past, but I didn't take it on real hard. I'm just doing like small steps. So I want, if I can do it here and there, cool. And maybe if something big pops my way, I can take it on a little farther. And maybe if something big comes along, then I could bring my friends involved, and they could help me with this business. And we could turn Fireland's PR into something bigger, and then I could jump back into that. And I could bring Bill into it, or I could bring somebody else into it who know these other ropes, and we can make this into something bigger than what it's designed for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As another outlet to help us with our other stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I've been kind of happy with the podcast thing, man, because like you said, there's a lot of bullshit that comes with. That's why I don't promote shows or book shows anymore, because you got to deal with a lot of drama sometimes with some of these bands, and it just ain't about it anymore. I'd rather just give them an outlet, to talk if they want to talk, and if they're cool, we'll form a relationship, and yeah, I'll do what I can for people. But sometimes, sometimes it's like a thankless job, and that's what, that's why I used to probably drink and use so much when I was in that world, and I'm not about that anymore, but we've been going at it for like over an hour now. Dominic, let me ask you some of the questions I normally ask guests I have on. Who are your top three musical artists?
Oh, top musical artist. Of all time or just right now?
Yeah. I mean, you could say right now who your top three are.
I really don't know this right now because it always changes. Metallica's always there. I don't know because my music taste always changes. We'll say Metallica, Steel Panther, and
I think Village
Exodus.
People was one of yours too, right?
Or maybe Crowbot. We'll go with Crowbot.
There you go.
How's that?
And then what class do you feel should be mandatory before graduating high school today?
Home ec.
Yeah, kids need skills.
Home ec and French.
And then 3 people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today.
Oh. My company commander in boot camp. Okay. My God, and because I pray every single day, and my daughter will pass. So those are the 3.
Nice. And then favorite toy as a child.
Slinky.
Slinky?
Slink? Hell yeah.
And balloon monkeys.
You remember what your favorite Christmas present was? Oh yeah. What was your favorite Christmas present?
One of my favorite Christmas presents was probably the big
You remember what yours was?
I think this big 16-inch Darth Vader. I got a picture of me playing with him.
I remember when I was a kid. I was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7, and my grandmother and grandfather, they got me this huge killer. It was all those little airplanes on it. I remember had rubber bands on it. You put the airplane on it and you let it fly off. I remember those things that would fly right into the walls and just shatter. But that was my favorite toy as a little kid. But yeah, I still remember that as a little kid. I wish I still had that thing. That thing probably worth a lot of money.
Yeah. And then any message you have for our military?
What are some of the things that you
currently serving overseas?
Oh man, just remember you're not forgotten, man. Yeah, you're not forgotten. If you're a veteran, and I always think about you guys. The hardest days in my life are Veterans Day, Memorial Days, anything that deals with a veteran. I have that up on my wall right there. And some of my hardest times in my life, I was just thinking about the people I lost in my life, or people who when I was in the Navy and I lost my friends. I lost a lot of people. And so the Navy or the military itself, strongest family ever. Brothers, sisters, man, forever. Hold the dearest to my heart. And whether I know you or not, I consider you your family. Always will, no matter where. It's the way it is. And I'm sure most veterans think the same way as well. That's how I see it.
Yeah, man. Amen. Well, let's not forget about Wimpy either.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace. You were tasty.
Awesome, Dom, man.
A little tough, but tasty.
Well, hey, so anybody that's out here listening and they want to, follow some of the things we talked about, and see what Vultan's up to, see what you're up to, see what Maximum Threshold's up to, where would you send them?
MaximumThreshold.net and VultanRocks.com.
Nice.
It's the best place.
Awesome. And if you're local and you're watching this now live, we'll see you at the Sly Fox tomorrow night. Celebrate Paul's birthday.
That's right.
And then one last favor before I let you go, Dom. You want to be cut a promo ID for the show? Just introduce yourself, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Sure. What's the name of your program?
Today's Boondoggle.
I know it is. This is Domonic, Maximum Threshold Radio, and Vultan, and you are watching today's Boondoggle. Rawr!
Awesome, man. I know we had a little bit of a delay, but we made the best of it, man. It was good catching up with you, and I'll be good to see you in person tomorrow night.
Sounds good, man. Love you, man.
All right. Love you too, brother. I'll see you.
Sounds good.